It was a quiet morning in early February in the small Texas city of Seagoville, a place where families go to work, kids go to school, and life moves at a familiar pace. But behind the closed doors of one modest home, something deeply unsettling had taken place. On that day, officers responding to a call found 27-year-old Backus and her 7-year-old son, Deuce, dead in the family's garage.
Begin tonight in Dallas County, where detectives are investigating the death of a mother and her little boy.
Seagoville police were called to a welfare check last week when relatives couldn't get in contact with them, and officers found the mother and son both unresponsive inside their home.
Janelle Ford just spoke with some of their neighbors and joins us live in Seagoville with what she's learned.
Well, Chris and Izzy, overall, this is just a very sad situation. The neighbors tell me that the mother and son were found dead in the garage of this home. You can see where someone's come and placed flowers out front. And tonight, investigators are working to learn exactly what happened.
First, you hear the screams. Then moments later, you see the first responders. They're heading 2 doors down to this home where 27-year-old Backus and her 7-year-old son Deuce were found dead in the garage.
It was just mayhem. Everybody out here crying, screaming. The cops was out here, they taped it off.
Backus's family believes the pair died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Police are waiting on autopsies before confirming.
This was the most people I ever seen out here at once.
Dion Loggins' home surveillance cameras captured the chaos Friday morning. He'd just gotten back from his morning run.
I was concerned about the little boy, like, is he at school? Like, 'cause I know him and my daughter go to school right here.
Deuce was a first grader at Segoville North Elementary. Monday, the school sent this letter home to parents, saying in part, "We extend our love and sympathy to their family at this time, and that they will have counselors on campus to help students and staff cope."
Where the little boy at, I was like, oh, once I heard he was gone, that's what it hit me the most. I was like, oh, wow, like, he was just out here playing with my son, about a week ago.
Now Loggins is trying to figure out how to give his little boy the news.
It's just hard for me to have a 3-year-old son and have to tell him how he lost his first friend.
Friday was Lyric's birthday. She was a social media influencer. She had a clothing boutique and tens of thousands of followers. And across social media, tributes are pouring in, mourning her death.
Their sudden deaths sent shockwaves through the community, not just because of the tragedy itself, but because the circumstances around what happened were confusing and left many people asking the same question. How could this happen to a mother and her young child? In the hours and days that followed, neighbors, friends, and strangers online began piecing together fragments of information. Some turned to social media, sharing theories and attempting to fill in the gaps where official answers were still quiet. The family publicly voiced a belief that carbon monoxide poisoning may have been involved, a dangerous gas that can build up without warning in enclosed spaces like garages. Others wondered if unseen factors, such as a running vehicle or a faulty heater, could have silently claimed their lives. While these ideas spread quickly online, authorities were still working to confirm what really occurred. What makes this case particularly unsettling is how little was immediately explained. No confirmed cause of death was released in the first reports, and yet the images of a mother and son taken so suddenly captured attention far beyond their community. In countless comments and posts, people began asking, were there warnings? Did anyone notice danger signs? Could something have been prevented? These unanswered questions deepened the mystery, turning what could have been a private family tragedy into a story followed by thousands, and one that still leaves us wondering what really happened in that quiet Texas street. Welcome to True Crime Diaries, where we uncover shocking crimes and hidden details behind real cases. Subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories. These are real lives and real tragedies, lessons we can't ignore. Let's dive in.
I made like my second purchase off TikTok shop, right? And of course it had to be something really that I desire to have. Not really desire, but you know, it's just comfortable and cute. And look at this shit. I'm gonna order every color.
Backus was a young woman with a life full of roles. A mother, a daughter, a friend, and part of a local community in Texas. She was born on February 9th, 1996, and would have turned 28 in 2024. According to public funeral records, Lyric's life was honored with a wake and service in late February, followed by burial in Dallas, Texas, where family and friends gathered to remember her and celebrate her life. What's publicly known is that Lyric was a devoted mother to her 7-year-old son, Deuce. In news reports at the time, authorities described her primarily in the context of the tragic discovery of her and her son in their home's garage, facts that made headlines and raised questions nationwide. While official profiles of Lyric's personal interests, schooling, or work life haven't been published in mainstream news, what people online did focus on was how unusual and heartbreaking this incident was for a young mom with a small child. In forums and social posts, viewers expressed empathy for her as a young woman trying to build a life and raise a child, wondering about her routines, her plans for the future, and the ordinary things she might have been doing the day before everything changed. These feelings, while not verified facts, reflect the way many people connected emotionally to her story. Some of the online speculation touched on questions like whether Lyric had recently talked about everyday worries, like car troubles, health concerns, or even seasonal work around the home, before the incident. But it's important to note that these ideas were shared by individuals on social media and not confirmed by police or official news reports. Investigators were focused on gathering evidence and statements, and at the time of early reports, no formal cause of death had been publicly released. Because public reporting centered mainly on the circumstances of her death rather than her life story, much of Lyric's personal history, her hobbies, aspirations, community involvement, and close relationships remained something only those who knew her well could fully describe. Yet the facts we do have, her age, her role as a mother, and the concern shown by her family, paint a picture of someone whose loss was deeply felt by the people in her life. On a seemingly ordinary morning in early February 2024, something extraordinary and deeply unsettling changed everything for a Texas community. What began as a routine day for neighbors in Seagoville turned into a moment that no one could have predicted. Shortly before 10 a.m., law enforcement officers responded to a call at a residential home in the city. When Dallas County deputies arrived, they entered the property's garage area and discovered Lyric Backus and her 7-year-old son, Deuce, unresponsive. Emergency personnel were quickly called to the scene. Despite their efforts, both Lyric and Deuce were later pronounced dead. The initial public announcement did not include a confirmed cause of death, leaving many details unclear in the early hours of the investigation. Because the first reports shared by media outlets focused on the response rather than answers, the lack of immediate explanation sparked a wave of curiosity and concern online. Many people across social platforms started piecing together what little information was available, asking questions like, had anyone seen signs of danger beforehand? Was something inside the home affecting their health? Had the mother and son been planning something that morning? Or had they been going about their lives like any typical family? These questions were shared widely, often out of genuine empathy and bewilderment rather than any malicious intent. However, it's important to underline that these online discussions were speculative by nature and not confirmed by police or official investigations. Meanwhile, officials at the scene were working methodically. Deputies cordoned off the area and began collecting evidence, while detectives took statements from neighbors and family members. Investigators statewide are trained to approach such sensitive situations with meticulous care, and in this instance, they initially refrained from releasing specific medical or forensic details publicly. Family members, grieving and seeking answers of their own, spoke publicly about their belief that carbon monoxide poisoning could have played a role. This idea gained traction in online spaces because carbon monoxide is a gas that can build up undetected in enclosed spaces like garages, especially if a vehicle is running or if exhaust systems malfunction. While this was one of the theories shared by relatives and reflected in some online conversations, law enforcement did not immediately confirm this as the official cause at the time of early reports. In the hours that followed, news crews gathered outside the home, and neighbors shared emotional memories. Some spoke of seeing Lyric and Deuce out in the yard days before, playing with toys or greeting passersby. Others reflected on how strange it was to see law enforcement at a quiet residence where life had seemed normal just hours earlier. As the day unfolded, official updates remained limited, emphasizing that the investigation was active and that authorities were working to understand all aspects of the situation before drawing conclusions. This measured approach by investigators contrasted with the often fast-moving online theories, highlighting the difference between verified facts and community speculation, both of which were part of the broader public reaction to this tragic discovery. After Lyric and her son Deuce were found unresponsive in their garage on that February morning, law enforcement launched an active investigation to understand what happened and why. What began with first responders quickly expanded into a case that drew both official scrutiny and widespread public interest. Law enforcement's approach. Right from the moment deputies arrived, the focus was on preserving the scene and collecting evidence so that investigators could build a clear picture of the events leading up to the discovery. Because the case involved the deaths of a mother and child, authorities took extra care to follow standard investigative procedures, including documenting the area, speaking with neighbors and extended family, and securing any potential physical clues. As with many sensitive investigations, official updates were limited in the early stages, which is common practice so that the integrity of the work isn't compromised by speculation. Though the family publicly suggested that carbon monoxide poisoning might be involved, a theory discussed in both official reports and by relatives, police did not immediately confirm this as the official cause of death in their initial statements. This left room for questions and speculation online, but it's important to underline that investigators themselves were still gathering medical and forensic evidence at that point. Public and online reaction. Because the first public news reports focused on the discovery and investigation process rather than definitive answers, people naturally wanted more information. Many viewers across social platforms expressed shock and sadness over the news of a young mother and her son being found dead, and some turned to discussion forums trying to piece together what might have occurred. In these online spaces, conversations ranged widely. Some participants shared concerns about carbon monoxide risk, especially given the setting in the garage, a place where gas buildup can happen, while others wondered whether there might be undisclosed factors or environmental influences. These online theories spread quickly because there were few confirmed details available early in the investigation. However, it's crucial to note that speculation shared online did not come from law enforcement or official findings. Local residents also shared their reactions with news crews. Some expressed disbelief that such a tragedy could happen in what they described as a typically peaceful neighborhood. Others spoke about their shock and grief, remembering Lyric and Deuce as familiar faces during morning walks or school drop-offs. Many expressed a desire for answers and closure, showing just how deeply the case touched people both close to the family and far beyond. Balancing facts and speculation. In cases like this, where official investigation details aren't fully released immediately, the public often fills in gaps with questions, theories, and educated guesses. While some online ideas focused on mechanical issues like a running vehicle or a faulty exhaust, and others on environmental concerns, none of these were confirmed by law enforcement at the time of reporting. The key takeaway is that investigators remained committed to uncovering the facts, even if it took time and careful analysis. This part of the story shows not only how investigations unfold step by step, but also how communities react when reality and uncertainty collide, a powerful reminder of how human curiosity and concern grow in the face of unanswered questions. As the investigation into what happened to Lyric and her son Deuce continued, two things became very clear. Some facts were confirmed early, while many questions remained unanswered. What we know. 1. The discovery. Law enforcement responded to a residential home in Seagoville, Texas, and found Lyric, age 27, and her 7-year-old son unconscious in their garage. Emergency responders were at the scene, and both were later pronounced dead. These are the facts confirmed by authorities and reported directly in local news coverage. 2. Official investigation happened. Police and deputies processed the scene and began an active investigation immediately. This included securing the area, documenting evidence, and speaking with family members and neighbors. The investigation was ongoing in the days following the discovery. 3. Family expressed concern about carbon monoxide. Lyric's family publicly shared their belief that carbon monoxide poisoning might have been involved. Carbon monoxide is a gas that can build up silently and is dangerous in enclosed spaces like garages. This belief was reported by local news outlets. However, family statements are not the same as an official medical finding. What we still don't know. 1. Official cause of death. At the time of early reporting, law enforcement had not publicly confirmed an official cause of death. That means no verified toxicology results, medical examiner's conclusion, or forensic cause was released in the first press reports. 2. Whether environmental factors were definitively responsible. Although carbon monoxide was mentioned by relatives and discussed by some members of the public online, police did not confirm this was the cause. There was no immediate official statement connecting the deaths to a specific mechanical or environmental source. 3. Why initial reports didn't include full details. Police often withhold full medical findings early in a case, so as not to compromise the investigation or share results before all tests are complete. This can leave gaps in what the public sees at first, even though law enforcement may already be working on answers behind the scenes. That process was in effect here, separating verified facts from online speculation. In the absence of full official detail early on, many people tried to make sense of the situation through online discussions. Some ideas that circulated included suggestions that a vehicle may have been running and producing exhaust, questions about residential appliances or heaters, speculation around other unseen household hazards. While these theories were shared widely on forums and social media, they were not confirmed by investigators or official reports at the time of initial news coverage. It's important to make this distinction for viewers so they can understand what comes from evidence and what comes from public curiosity. Why this matters. When tragic events like this happen, people naturally want answers. But grief, uncertainty, and the speed of online conversation can sometimes create confusion between facts that are confirmed by authorities and ideas that are still unverified. By clearly outlining what we know and what we don't know, your audience gains a clearer, fairer picture of the story, one that respects both the victims and the process of official inquiry. After the deaths of Lyric Backus and her 7-year-old son, Deuce, the community around them and their loved ones faced a wave of grief, reflection, and questions that would linger long after the initial tragedy. This part of the story moves beyond the discovery and investigation to explore how their loss was marked, remembered, and felt by those around them, with compassion and respect for real people affected. Plans for farewell. Following the tragic discovery, arrangements were made to honor Lyric's life in a series of memorial events that family and friends could attend. According to her published obituary, Lyric's wake was scheduled for Friday, February 23, 2024, creating a space for loved ones to gather, share memories, and grieve together. The funeral service took place the next day, on Saturday, February 24th, followed by her burial later that afternoon at Lincoln Memorial Cemetery in Dallas, Texas. These services provided a structured way for the community to say their goodbyes and celebrate Lyric's life in the company of those who knew her best. Very often in situations like this, funerals become a focal point for collective mourning, where stories are shared, tears are shed, and moments of laughter break through sadness as people recall the personality and presence of the person who has passed. Although news reports did not always include detailed quotes from these gatherings, the fact that so many people visited the obituary page and chose to attend the services is itself a sign of the impact Lyric had on those around her. Community reaction. News coverage and social media reactions showed that the story touched many beyond Lyric's immediate circle. In a small city such as Seagoville, neighbors described their shock and disbelief when they learned of the deaths, often emphasizing how unusual such a thing was in their everyday lives. People expressed sorrow for a young mother and her child taken far too soon, noting how unpredictable loss can be. Some local community members referenced their own experiences with grief or spoke about the importance of supporting families after devastating events. Posts on neighborhood social pages included messages of love, prayers, and solidarity with Lyric's relatives, showing how people mobilize emotionally, and sometimes practically, when tragedy visits someone they know. Ongoing conversations and reflection. In the aftermath, questions continue to circulate online and in community conversations. Many focused on what could have been done differently, or what warning signs might have existed. These reflections were often rooted in genuine concern and a desire to understand, not in judgment. Even when people offered theories about possible causes or circumstances, many stressed the importance of waiting for official information rather than drawing quick conclusions. At the same time, the community's reaction highlighted how families and neighbors come together after loss, sharing meals, checking on one another, and offering help in small but meaningful ways. These spontaneous acts of kindness can provide comfort during times of uncertainty and sorrow, reinforcing the idea that no one has to grieve alone. The human side. The aftermath of Lyric and Deuce's passing was, above all, a period of mourning and remembrance. While official investigations continued in the background, those who knew them focused on honoring their memories. Funerals, shared stories, and moments of quiet reflection became the avenues through which people expressed both their sadness and their love. This phase also showed how communities, large and small, respond when life's ordinary rhythms are interrupted by extraordinary heartbreak. It's a reminder that amidst investigations, theories, and unanswered questions, the most lasting elements of any story are the connections people had with those they've lost. As we come to the close of this story, it's important to pause and think not just about the events, but about the bigger picture, the human experience behind what happened to Lyric and her son Deuce. This wasn't just a news headline. It was the ending of two real lives, leaving behind family, memories, and a community seeking understanding. In situations like this one, where official information is limited and the public naturally wants answers, it's easy for questions and uncertainty to grow faster than confirmed facts. From the very beginning, authorities worked to piece together what happened before drawing conclusions, and that careful process sometimes feels slow to those watching from the outside. At the same time, the reactions from neighbors and community members, expressions of grief, shared memories, and offers of support remind us of something essential. Loss connects people. Even without knowing every detail of what occurred, friends and strangers alike felt moved to show compassion, reach out, and reflect on the fragility of life. Online speculation, whether about causes like carbon monoxide exposure or other theories, grew out of people trying to make sense of the unknown. That's a very human response. But speculation is not evidence. And in cases like this, it's crucial to acknowledge what has not been confirmed by investigators so that we honor both the truth and the people involved. The story of Lyric and Deuce also highlights how families navigate public scrutiny during their most vulnerable moments. Facing questions from the press while grieving is something no one should endure alone. The way Lyric's loved ones spoke about her reflects their search for meaning in the midst of shock, and it echoes the larger community's desire to understand what happened. As viewers and listeners, we can take from this story a few lasting lessons. Compassion matters. Behind every headline are real people with real relationships, and showing empathy honors them more than speculation ever will. Patience with facts is important. Investigations take time, and waiting for official results helps prevent unnecessary confusion or misinformation. Community support can be healing. Friends, neighbors, and even virtual audiences come together after tragedies, demonstrating that care doesn't end with a news cycle. In remembering Lyric and Deuce, we're reminded that life is unpredictable, and that the bonds we form, the kindness we offer, and the way we listen to one another are what endure when questions remain. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of a difficult and deeply human story. That's a wrap on today's case. But the story doesn't end here. There are still countless voices unheard, stories hidden in the shadows, and truths waiting to be uncovered. Here at True Crime Diaries, we're committed to digging deeper, sharing the facts, honoring the victims, and keeping their memories alive. If you found this story meaningful, hit subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you're always among the first to see when a new case is released. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.